Hey, great big world out there. Happy Saturday. Hey, guess what? We made it another 7 days, y'all, okay? So if you encountered some highs, you encountered some lows, it was indifferent this week, work, life, kids, family, neighbors, the pets, whatever. Let it go. Give it to God, because guess what? We are standing here today, June 7th. Whoop, whoop. Yes, it's June. Okay, so I say that because I'm not a summertime person. I truly do not care about the summertime. Like, we can have a whole year without spring and summer. I'm fall and winter. So, like, I'm literally waiting on the snow and the rain and all of that good stuff. You can have this 70, 60, 90. You can have all this weather because I don't want it. I don't care for it. We got the beautiful Bam joining us online. Hello, gorgeous. How are you? Yes. We know you love the sun, but I'm not one that I'm rooting for September through January, February, and March. Also, the month of June is so exciting. Oh my God, June is exciting because I want to say happy birthday to everyone who is celebrating a birthday in June. Yes, and I got some special birthday shout outs to give. I'm going to start with my love, my heart, my friend. Oh, I love you, Denise. That is my sister. Oh my God, I love my sister. Happy birthday. She is actually celebrating her birthday today, you all. So can we wish her a happy birthday? Got some more special birthdays for June. My G baby, all the way in Montego Bay, Jamaica. My baby got a birthday coming this month. My best friend's mom. Hey, Miss Deborah Foster. Whoop, whoop. Your birthday coming. I want some cake and some ice cream. I know you're going to have it. It's going to be off the chain. We getting it in. My big brother Tim. Tim's birthday is coming. Whoop, whoop to Tim Minor. Hope you have a good birthday. I'm going to be there with you, enjoying as always, whether it's in the physical or I'm somewhere behind the scenes just celebrating for you. Last, but definitely not least, man, this list is so endless when I talk about positivity, when I talk about a good sister relationship, a good friend relationship, a good mentor, a good study buddy, your ride or die, whether it's 10 toes down to no toes, having it all, just pulling up on all aspects. My sister / best friend, Lachey Maria, her birthday coming, y'all. So those are some special birthday shout outs I want to give. Happy birthday. We are in June, so we're going to be turning up for the next 30 days for those June birthdays. Yay. I want to take a minute to give some special acknowledgments and shout outs to our guests that came by in May, that stopped by and dropped off some beautiful gems, some information, some resources. They were just so phenomenal for the month of May as we were talking about mental health awareness and how it affects your finances. And not just your finances overall, just having that mental health issue in itself and being aware and acknowledging it. So it was so much information that was delivered during the month of May. First, want to send a shout out to Candido Naji Ubeliz, We Not Ops, coming by May 10th. Want to send a special shout out to McClendon E. Porter, Maximize This Life and Revival Outreach Ministries International. He stopped by on May 24th. And we ended the month of May with mental health awareness with none other than Kenitra M. Williams. She came by and dropped some phenomenal information on us on May 31st. So thank you to who all came by, gave that information and those resources definitely needed. If you missed the show, don't worry. It's still on the Facebook page. And you can level up as I did. you can subscribe to the YouTube page and you can see the videos as many times or as often as you see fit. While we're on Facebook, don't be afraid, don't be shy to comment, like, love, and share. All are welcome. This is for any and everybody because knowledge is power, and that's what we want to have. We definitely ended mental health awareness with a bang. I can't speak for anyone but myself when I tell you I have learned so much dealing with mental health awareness. I just cannot wait till I start school. And like my first question is going to be like, I already studied this because I had a podcast on it. Do I got to take the class again? Let me tell you what I learned because I can educate you. So cross your fingers. Hope that works out for me. Don't think it will, but you know, nothing beats a failure but a try, right? Why not? At least I can say I tried. So yes. Now, this is June 7th. And guess what, y'all? We have an amazing show for you today. Amazing show. Yes, I'm always excited. I just love excitement, right? But, before we jump in today's show and I give you all this information, I do want to take a couple minutes and I want to address some conversations, some sidebar conversations that go on, of course, while the show was not here, and text messages or emails or just general conversation when someone is talking and you feel like that message is for you or directed at you, but they're being modest about it. So I just want to take some time to address that. No, I'm not going to say any names. So please, after the show, don't call and ask, who are you talking about? No, I'm not going to share any names. I just want to, set the tone and set the stage because I do want this to be a safe space. I do want you to be able to come and speak your mind, ask questions, debate, because I'm not always right. Debate, give me feedback, give me that devil's advocate, if you must say, to just open up that conversation tone in that stage. And ultimately, the stories that I tell may help someone because those stories are testimonies. They may help someone. So if I could help someone throughout my show, I've done a great deed to that individual, and I don't want to take away from that. So, as you all know, I like to do things in reverse. A lot of people start from one to the end. I start from the end and go back to one. It just makes sense to me. And since we have ended the month of May with mental health awareness, and we ended with Kenitra M. Williams, this is where I truly want to start. Okay, so as you all know, and I've spoke about my brother, who has always given the family, his children, and of course me, it seems like daily lectures about education. And at the time it was being delivered, I didn't want to receive it. It was like, hurry up and talk. I'm just ready to get outside with my friends. Or guess what? I can't wait till I no longer live in the house. I don't got to hear it. Or why did you even have to come back home from school? Because now we got to hit this again. So I wasn't in that mindset to receive that information. Not that I didn't hear it, but I didn't want to do anything about it at that present moment. So I say that to say that last week our interview with Kenitra was not just amazing, but this young lady has done so much. And she mentioned that she tells her clients that she's the passenger. They're driving. She's just riding alongside. So I just want to give you some insight on how Kenitra was the driver and she didn't even know she was the driver. She was my driver. Let me take you on a field trip. back in 2010, getting off the train on Lake and Austin, Green Line. And I ran into Kenitra and I said, hey, that is my niece. That is Benita's child. Like, wow, what is she doing over here? But nonetheless, I saw her. Now, let me put a pin in that. I had just came from an interview because I was looking to leave my job. And I guess it was so many candidates at that present time that after the interview, you stayed around and then they told you if you were going to be a part of the team or not. Well, unfortunately, I was not one of the chosen ones. Their loss. No worries. But I was in my feelings about it. And so I was standing there and I was talking to Kenitra and, she was telling me about school. She was graduating college and starting college again. And, I was so grateful to hear that, but I couldn't wrap my mind around it because I had just got turned down for a position. Now, here I have someone that's excited about going back to school and getting a second degree, and I don't have any degrees, and I'm mad about this job turning me down. Well, I politely hugged her and kept that smile on my face, but as soon as I got on that train to get all the way to the Harvey Metro station, I tell you, I cried. And I cried some good tears because Kenitra did what I was ashamed to do. She went to school. She got an education. And when I say I was ashamed not because of color, but because of size, because I wasn't with the in crowd, because I wasn't the one with the designer clothes or the real fashionable jewelry and the shoes that were popular. I was just an everyday normal female, and I couldn't allow myself to be surrounded about anyone that was in school because it triggered me. Because in grammar school, I got teased and I got talked about. So who wants to go to college to get teased and talked about? So I didn't go. What's up, DJ / Chef Steve? I love you, boy. Oh, hey, DJ / Chef Steve. But okay, I'm sorry. Nonetheless, as I got to thinking, wow, could I potentially do what Kenitra is doing? And so I kept on going to work day to day, and nothing was just going in my favor. So one day, it was a commercial came on the TV, and I just got the end of the commercial, and it said Dow 773 College. Now, I currently have a job. Hey, Nicole! So I currently have a job, and something says you're going to need this number. And so I thought about Kenitra again. Wait a minute. Now, I'm in my 30s. This is my niece in her 20s. She's going on her second degree. I don't have one. That's just not adding up to me. I need to get in school. So I contacted Harold Washington College. Shout out to Dean Glover. She was the dean of students at the time, and Miss Diane Richardson, who I still talk to from time to time. But anyway, I started school, and I felt like I had to prove a point to Kenitra. I felt like I just couldn't let her down. Like I wanted her to be proud of me. I wanted her to say, wow, my auntie did it. Like I needed that. And the truth of the matter is, as I said and I spoke with her last week during our show, I didn't have the courage to tell her that. And I don't know why. For whatever reason, I just got stuck. I couldn't tell her. So what better way to tell her now that, look, I listened. And although you didn't think it made an impact or you didn't know it made an impact, it made a huge impact on my life. So not only did I finish and ended with an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, entering the honor society, graduating with a 4.00 summa cum laude, and graduating with a master's in forensic accounting. Man, my hat is off to you, Kenitra, because at times when I wanted to throw in that towel At times when I wanted to give up, at times when I cried and I cried and I cried and I didn't understand how you did it, I thought about you and that pushed me. So I thank you for that. I thank you for being the driver for me and not the passenger. So when I say we gonna get that PhD, I'm definitely going back to school to get that PhD. The second comment that I want to address is, yes, Anointed Accounting is an accounting firm. Yes, we specialize in company formation, tax preparation, bookkeeping, auditing, IRS resolutions. I mean, the list is endless. There is nothing that we can't touch or tackle within our firm. But within our firm, we also like to deliver and educate people. There's nothing wrong with giving out free information. So yes, I'm a tax company and I talk about more than taxes. So I want to apologize to those individuals who think I'm only supposed to talk about taxes. But what I will not apologize for is the message that I'm delivering. Because again, if I can help that one person, I want to do that. Thank you, DJ /Steve /Chef Steve. When I graduate with that PhD, not only will you be cooking, but you got a DJ too. So don't tell me you're not doing it because it's already set in stone, and I don't want you to refer no one because it's already set in stone, sir. Period. But back to what I was saying. The great example about being able to give out information is looking at last month on mental health awareness. Like, if your mental state and your capacity is not together, you are not productive. You can't work. You can't make money. And we all know that money will change your day-to-day living, your day-to-day eating. Your expenses can go from this high to nothing at all. And again, you all hear me say everything starts with a transaction, because it does. And if you've dealt with accounting, if you dealt with money in depth, like myself and even Nicole that's watching, you know that everything starts and ends with a transaction. So again, my apologies to those who think that I'm just supposed to talk about taxes, because the other subjects that I talk about to them does not relate to money and finances as it does. And I'm going to close with the last comment on grief and healing. Listen, first of all, if you all are standing here, sitting here, listening, and your mother or your father, whatever role model, especially your mother, is still here, love on your mom, man. Love on her, love her, show up for her, be there for her. Because I'm going to tell you, when she's gone, that's it. There is no coming back. There is no redo. There is no second opportunity. It's done. So I say that to say that weekly, I know that I mention my mother on my show. That's my mama. My mama was and still is until this day my biggest cheerleader, my biggest supporter, my mentor. My mom is everything. And if you knew my mother, you knew she was loud when she talked about her kids and when she talked about her family. You knew that. Hey, Aunt Tootie. You knew that. So if you knew Dolores, D, Lois, Mother Allen, whatever you called her, you knew you heard my mama from a mile away when it was about talking about her kids and her family. So yes, I'm going to talk about my mother. I'm going to acknowledge my mother because she was there and she still is there for me. Outside of that, yes, I'm going to continue to talk about my Auntie Johnny. I'm going to continue to talk about my Auntie Tootie, because not only are they my aunties, but they're my mothers. They stepped in when my mom got called to heaven November 9th, 2022. It's times where I'm just breaking down and it's not enough tissue in the house. And Aunt Johnny a call out of nowhere. And unintentionally, she's brightened my day because that's an image of my mother right there in conversation. Now, me and Aunt Tootie talk. And during my busy season, we have a once a month conversation. And Lord and behold, if she called and I don't answer, do understand she gonna make calls around the nation until I call her. So when I'm going through my moments and I'm breaking down and it never fails, it's around the time I'm supposed to call her. I hurry up and pucker up because I know she's gonna make me laugh. And I know I'm in trouble because she answered the phone, okay, kid, and I know what that means. So look, if you know my Auntie Tootie like I do, I don't even want her catching a flight to come knock on my door. No, and no again. So because they are my supporters and they're there for me mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, I'm gonna cheer them on. I'm gonna talk about them because they are a part of me, a part of my process, a part of my journey, and a part of my healing. When it comes to Benita and Pookie, what's understood need not be discussed. Those are my siblings. We done fought together. We done laughed. We done cried. We done been through some things. And throughout my journey, they have been there. When I talk about my 7 best friends, that guy and them 6 girls have shown up and shown out second by second. And I don't take that for granted. I don't not want to recognize what I have because it's a lot of people that want that and don't have that and need that. So I'm grateful for the space that I'm in. So lastly, I'm going to apologize again to those who think I should not talk about those topics or talk about these individuals weekly because it's overbearing for them, but it's not overbearing for me. So I apologize that it's overbearing for you, but I don't apologize for the message and the information that I'm delivering. Well, now that we got that out, let's talk about what June is going to bring this month. I'm excited. Yes, I'm super excited. So as you all know, we just ended May with mental health awareness. And we're starting June, and June is dedicated towards Alzheimer's and brain awareness. June is also observed for men's health awareness. I learned that a week ago. I did not know that. I thought everything was encompassed into May, but it's not. So see, learning never stops on this platform. Education never stops on this platform, this safe space that we've provided here along with your finances. Now, June is also recognized for Father's Day. It's also recognized, meaning that it's a holiday to honor the fathers and the contributions to their families. And when I say father, I don't just mean that you're a child that you helped bring into this world. You could be a father to a brother. You could be a father to a nephew. You could be a father to a cousin. If you played that role and stood in that stance, then I salute you. My hat is off to you. Juneteenth is also recognized because it's a holiday commemorating the emancipation of enslaved people that's in the United States. June is also observed for National Safety Month. Let me stop right there. For a long time, I thought National Safety Month was July. And I don't know if I thought that because I wanted it to be July because that's my birthday month, or because it just made sense to me in my world for it to be National Safety Month in July. but I was wrong. So yes. But anyway, what I did learn in doing my research in depth is that it's aimed at increasing awareness on safety issues and reducing unintentional injuries and deaths. And that's a lot when you think about it. Like, wow. And you know, I found out that it was an organization out here that we're going to talk about in a few seconds that celebrates this for a week long in the month of March. So it's just so much stuff out here for us that a lot of people don't know, nor do they know how it affects our finances. And Pride is also recognized, and that's for the LGBT community, and also to honor the Stonewall riots that happened in 1969. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about June being the month for awareness for Alzheimer's and brain awareness. Let's start with Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's disease is a neurodegenerative disorder characterized by progressive cognitive decline, primarily affecting memory, thinking, and behavior. It is most common cause of dementia, a general term for cognitive impairment that interferes with daily life. So you say, Shavonna, why is this important? How does this relate to me and finances? Well, let's use what it says. Alzheimer's can affect your memory, the way you think, and the way you behave. And we're going to talk about that and how it relates to your finances, because if you can't think, if you can't remember anything, if your behavior is not the norm, what's called the norm, then how can you make money? How can you sustain? How can you pay your bills? That's how it relates. So we want to dig deeper into that and how it plays a role on finances and what you can do to prepare for that. Brain awareness, it aims to encourage people to learn more about the brain, its remarkable abilities, and the importance of brain research, ultimately supporting efforts to improve brain health and their neurological disorders. And again, I just told you that every month in March, there's a week-long observation that's dedicated toward this, that's started with the Dana Foundation, and it's not just here, it's all over the world, where they have and host activities where they educate people about brain awareness and the importance of it. Like, your brain shut down, your whole body is shut down. So that's something big. And we're going to dig. Yes, that many digs into all of this and how it encompasses your finances. Now, I'm not going to say this is my favorite part of the show that I'm about to say, but it's one of my favorite parts of the show since we're talking about Alzheimer's. I don't know if you are aware, but the color purple is my favorite color. They were thinking about me when they did this. Oh, I'm such a gem. But the color purple is the official color for Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. Purple is used to raise awareness and show the support for those living with Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. So a lot of us already know that purple stands and means royalty. But to me, this says something more, because when you see someone in purple, you may think they were affected by this, or could this have hit home? And for me, it's hit home. I was young when my grandmother experienced dementia that led into Alzheimer's. I was about 7 or 8. I just remember her always being lost and the police always bringing her back home. And no matter what happened, the only person she was able to remember to call was her church. She didn't call home. She didn't call my brother. She called her church, which was Union Hill. And, to me, I thought it was a game. She was looking for attention. But as I grew older, I understood why it was like that, because the mind reverts back to not only being a child, but it's what you hold on to dear the most. And we'll talk about that some more throughout the rest of this month. But purple says a lot. And some years ago, I lost my father, and I watched him go through his dementia stages. And I must say that you have to be patient and show up, because just because they forget your name, or they may forget who you are at that moment, somewhere inside, they're holding on to you and they feel safe with you. And that says a lot. So, now, in June, we're going to be talking about understanding the financial pack of Alzheimer's. We're going to be talking about the importance of early financial planning, as we should be doing anyway. We shouldn't just wait if we see a loved one or a family friend or whomever seeing these stages and want to start planning. We're going to look for the red flags. We're going to talk about those red flags and the declining of it. We're going to talk about a financial plan and who you need to talk to. But right now I want to focus on understanding the financial impact of Alzheimer's. The cost of care, whether it's long-term care, memory care, in-house help, that is a cost. And you may have insurance, but where do you get insurance from? If it's not offered through your job, you have to go out and get insurance and pay out of pocket for that. And how do you pay out of pocket if you don't have a source of income? So you see how your finances can contribute and how it's a domino effect all the way around. You need to be able to pay for those long-term care facilities. And it's not inexpensive. It's not. You have to be able to have that nurse come out if you want in-house care to come out and be there, whether it's 2 days a week to 4 days to 7 days. And insurance is going to cover so much, but now you're looking at that out-of-pocket cost. What about that cost for research? Because some facilities ask you to not only donate to their research and to their facility, but some also have application fees. That's money. And how does money play a role in that? Especially if the cognitive mind is not there to receive and understand what's going on. And that's why you may need that person there to create, that you've created that safe space with, that you are familiar with, that you're comfortable with, especially when it's dealing with finances. Now, as you all know, I always talk about me. I don't trust too easily. And I don't have a lot. But the little that I have, I want to keep. So I'm not big on trusting people. But if you know my financial situation, that means I trust you. That means if something happens, you are going to know what to do. And I'm going to say that, everyone knows I lost my mom November of 22. And although I was broken and I was damaged, and a part of me still is, I knew that I had to get up and do something. I had to make these phone calls. I still had to come out of pocket with money. Not that my mother didn't prepare herself, because she did. Everybody know I'm over the top. So, yeah, it had to be how I wanted it. But still, money played a role in that. Being in my mental state at the time wasn't there. So I leaned on others who were able to say, okay, Shavonna, do this. Okay, Shavonna, do this. That best friend, Lachey Maria, that I mentioned earlier. Oh, hands down. 90% of the things that got done was because of her. And I know when we talk about percentage, is at 100, but no, my percentage is more than 100. The other 90% came from Reverend Porter. The other 100%, I had Aunt Tootie. I had Aunt Johnny. I had that circle of friends that a lot of people don't like me to talk about on this platform, that were all there, that showed up and showed out. But again, and I don't mean to go off track, finances played a major role in that. So because my mother had a financial plan in the beginning, because she was aware that this day was going to come, whether we wanted it to or not, she knew that she didn't want to leave that financial burden on her family. So she prepared for it. She talked to us about it. And not just one conversation, there were several conversations, often conversations. And that just helped us prepare more on the financial side of it. But money was still involved. So when we talk about your finances and dealing with Alzheimer's, we can talk about the indirect costs like time off work. Now I can remember when, and again, I was young. I couldn't have been no more than 8 when my grandmother was going through those stages, but my mother had to take off work. And that put a damper on our finances. And, you know, she was mindful of every penny that was spent. Hey, Darlene. She was mindful of every penny that was spent, because not only did she want to make sure the household needs were taken care of, she wanted to make sure that she had enough to cover any costs dealing to nurses that came out. Granted, our church home played a very big role in it, because we had nurses there, and there were people that came out that said, we gonna sit with Mother Cotton. We gonna take care of Mother Cotton. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And so that helped tremendously on the financial side. But let's talk about those who don't have that. And those finances play a role in that. And it's like so much coming at one time. So that is life happening. And it's life catching you off balance and off guard, because, hey, you're not ready for it. And why are you not ready for it? Because it hasn't been discussed, nor has it been talked about. We think about finances. Well, we're going to pay the rent. We're going to pay the mortgage. The kids need something. We got to take the dog to the vet. But your finances go way deeper and beyond that. And now that we're able to think about it now, Lord and behold, something happens now and you don't remember. Do you have that special person that's there that can step in and say, hey, look, I know what to do. Don't worry about it, because it's been talked about. And that's so important when we're dealing with the effects of Alzheimer's and your finances. Because if you have to take off work, let's just assume you didn't use all your PTO time. Let's assume you don't have any vacation time. Wait, stop, put a pin in it. Let's assume you do got vacation time. How many days you got? Let's say the max may be 35, if that. Let's say you have 150 hours of PTO time. Let's say you have another 100 hours of sick time. once you done went through all of that time, what do you have now? Because you've utilized all of that. Because you want to be off work to make sure your loved one is being properly taken care of. Have you made the correct steps for that to happen? And that's what we're going to be talking about. If you haven't made those financial steps, there's a big burden that you put on your family, because now they have to get those finances. And I'm going to say that maybe within the past 5 years, I just learned out what a GoFundMe page is for. I've seen that where people just didn't have the money for the cost of living and passing away expenses. Like, it's expensive. So the insurance policy may have lapsed, or the amount of coverage that you had just didn't cover what needs to happen. So now your family is getting together and they're trying to put in this money to give you a home going. And you really don't want to leave that burden up on your family. You want for your family not to be able to deal with what's going on and your passing, but you don't want them sitting there struggling afterwards trying to cover all the expenses that could have been taken care of while they were here. So those conversations up front and in the beginning and often needs to happen more now than ever. Definitely more now than ever. That insurance policy is very important, to have that, to make those payments every month and on time, because you're going to need that when you see those signs. And you may want to laugh it off, or you may say, that's her joking, as I did. But again, I was so young, so I did think it was a joke. But it plays a role on you mentally, because now you have to accept that someone that you love and someone that you're close to is battling this disease and you can't cure it. So what do you want to do? You want to make them comfortable, and you want to be comfortable. And that's where those conversations come in at. Are you aware of the facilities that's out here? Are you aware of the resources that you can utilize for Alzheimer's and dementia patients? Are you aware of that memory care facility and how it operates and how you can utilize it? Are you even aware of in-house care for your loved one or your family member or friend who's battling this? Did you talk about the financial planning? Is there a will? Is there a trust? Is there a life insurance policy? Let's go old school. Is the money under the mattress? Is the money in the flour jar that's on the cabinet? On the counter in the kitchen? Is it in the purse, in the closet, all the way in the back? It needs to be talked about. That financial planning is going to be so important. It's going to be important because it's going to help throughout the process. And as I spoke about earlier, that brain awareness, the cognitive side of the mind and the brain, when it's not functioning, you're unable to function. And so while we're celebrating and observing Father's Day, Juneteenth, while we're celebrating Pride, let's celebrate Brain Awareness Month. Let's get out there, whether it's now or even in the month of March, when they host all of these activities to make people aware, because the rise in injuries and deaths are alarming, and we want to be able to decrease that. And how do we decrease that? We decrease that by being aware, by showing up, by finding out how you can play a role and be a factor in what's going on. So it's so important when we talk about Alzheimer's, and we know that it's a cycle, and you're going down this road. You're taking this walk. You want that person next to you where you've created that safe space where you could have them take care of all of your finances, make those necessary calls. And later this month, I'm actually looking still, and I think I have someone, and if anyone looking and watching, if you know a nurse, or if you know a physician, if you know anyone that has any experience dealing with Alzheimer's and dementia, please give them my information and ask them to reach out to me. I would like to have them as a featured guest on the show, because I think that is just so important. A lot of times we talk about how this hit home. So I could talk about how it hit home for me when I was an adolescent. I could talk about how it hit home for me as an adult, but my experience as an adult was so little, because during the time where my father was catching dementia, shortly thereafter, he passed away. So he didn't live throughout all the stages of dementia and Alzheimer's. So if anyone knows anybody, please, please, please give them our information. Have them to reach out. You already know. It's www.anointedaccountting.com. They can also send me a message through my website. It'll come directly to me. They can also reach out to me via telephone call or text message at 312-837-7219. And I'm across social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram at Anointed Accounting. Have them to reach out to us. If you have any questions or concerns as it relates to Alzheimer's and dementia and your finances, whether you want financial planning, do I know any attorneys that you can talk to because you want to get a will or a trust going? Can we assist in preparing your financials? It is going to be a strong yes to all of those statements that I just made. Don't be afraid to reach out, because again, Anointed Accounting has created this platform not just for your taxes, not just for balancing your finances, not just for your day-to-day living and managing your finances, but in order to do all of that, you have to have a solid foundation of how it starts, continues, and ends. And what more better talking about it after leaving mental health awareness and going into Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. So I think this is so important. Again, if you watching, you have any questions, you have any concerns, drop those questions. If you don't want to do it in public, send me a message on Messenger. That's where I get a lot of stuff at. Why do you think I opened up today how I opened up today? Because people feel safe sending those messages and knowing that I'm not going to say any names, because that's what I'm not here for that. I'm here to educate you. I'm here to let you know that it may seem gloomy right now, but it's going to be some light at the end of the tunnel. We just got to get on board. And when we're dealing with finances and we're talking to people about finances, that could be a touchy subject. Why is that a touchy subject, Shavonna? Because guess what? In this day and age today, I just don't got it. I don't got it. The job to cut back. The position is eliminated. I need to work 2 jobs. Everybody in the house need a job. You need to have a job, a side hustle, do Uber, and sell dinners. I'm just saying, I understand that it's going to take a village to get through what we're going through, but we got to start with us. We have to. So throughout this month, I'm definitely going to be touching on the importance of early financial planning. And when I say early, I mean we can start as young as 10 years old. I want to say that's when a lot of parents start releasing allowances to their children and responsibilities, having them have their own bank accounts and using a debit card or a credit card. That's early financial planning, but we don't just want to give them all of these resources and we haven't educated them on these resources. We need to first know how to utilize these resources so we can properly educate them. So as they grow older and come up in the world, they'll know, hey, guess what? This was introduced to me. I touched it. This is where we need to start. So again, it's a domino effect. It's going to keep going as they have their children and their children's children. And we just want to lay down that platform. So we're definitely going to be talking about that. The documents that you need to have. Why a living will is so important. Why healthcare proxy is so important. And a power of attorney. And I'm sorry I missed that. But I know I said have that person that you're comfortable and safe with. But that power of attorney is going to mean so much. Especially when you're dealing with the federal and state entities. Prime example, you cannot call the Internal Revenue Service on someone else's behalf. I don't care how many credentials you have behind your name. If Form 2848 is not posted to that account, which is the power of attorney form, you cannot call on their behalf. So if you can't call the federal entity to talk about finances on someone else's behalf, then you have to know and understand that it is just that important for us to have this form, whether it's medical, financial. You need that power of attorney if you don't have no one trusted that you want to relinquish all this information to. Even if it's in a will. How many wills do you have? Not meaning do you have several different wills, but how many copies of that will? Maybe this person needs to have a copy of the will. That person needs to have it. So there's no confusion when time comes for something to happen. That all falls under that early financial planning. Let's talk about the red flags that we're going to dive deeper into. I know me, I'm so quick to say, oh, that ain't nothing. That's just the act. That's funny. But sometimes I literally have to catch myself. You know, I used to laugh at my mom because she'll write notes. Everywhere you went, it was a notepad in her house. And she will always say out loud, Lord, please don't take my mind. And, you know, it was funny then. But it makes so much sense now because that's just a big factor. I'm sorry, I was a bit parched. That's just a big factor because you don't want to forget. And here I'm writing my notes and I'd be like, Lord, please don't take my mind. I forgot something. Oh, Lord, please don't take my mind. Well, and then because of the field that I'm in, I look right at finances. Well, I know this is in order. Bonita know her role. My best friends know their role. My wife know her role. So everything is in order. And it's financial planning. And I'm doing that daily. And throughout financial planning, will you have to go make some tweaks to it? Absolutely you will. And that's what Anointed Accounting is here for. We're here to deliver that information and help you with that information. Also, we want to keep in mind that it is going to be very, 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 very important when you see those signs of forgetfulness coming on, and I know I mentioned finances and having that power of attorney, when you're out doing your research for these facilities, don't just sit online and do the research. Go in, visit these facilities. Don't just talk to the staff that's always smiling. Talk to the staff that's frowning, because they're going to be the ones to tell you the truth. Talk to the people that's in the facility. They're going to tell you the blunt truth. They're not going to hold anything back. It's important because your loved one and family member is going to be there, or they're going to be utilizing those services from the place that you chose. So it's important for us to do our research, especially when we're spending that money, because it's not going to be free. I can guarantee you that it's not going to be free. So get ready for an exciting show. Hey, Elder Reverend Pastor Cool Porter, how you doing? I was talking about you earlier. No, but that, and again, thank you for joining Pastor Porter. He was one of our guests for Mental Health Awareness. Came through May 24th, dropped some information on us. Any show that we did, no, stop, put a pin in it. All of my shows have been amazing. So if you've missed any one of those shows, I encourage you, please go back, sign up on it, subscribe to their YouTube page, watch every show that we had in May. Pastor Porter was on May 24th, and he gave us some information that is just outstanding. Like, I used to walk down the street and I used to step on ants because they creep me out. Now I just walk past them. I got a whole new look on ants. And no, the acronym that he left for ants didn't mean the ants on the ground. Just the part where he talked about the acronym, and I'm sorry I forgot, but I know it's dealing with the mind, gave me a whole new level of respect for ants. And it's just amazing, that mind. You see what I'm saying? Brain, forgetfulness, awareness. That's why it's just so very important. So subscribe to their YouTube channel. That show was May 24th. He delivered some wonderful gems, some wonderful acronyms. Like, I encourage you to go watch every show, because somebody did something on every show, and I promise you, you will not regret it. And when I say watch the show, I don't mean literally sit there and watch it, because I know people have lives, you have things to do. But if you can multitask, you can listen to the show like you're doing and do something else. If you could be on your phone and walk down the street, then you could listen to the show and multitask. Like, it's real simple. So this month, we got a lot to talk about when we're talking about Alzheimer's and brain awareness. Again, if anybody knows anyone that's in that field, that has some knowledge on that field, they would like to be a guest on the show, please give them my information. I would love to have them as a guest, whether it's virtually or in person. It's going to be their discretion. But we would love to have them to come out and just give us more insight on this disease that's out here that's not talked about enough. And it's not talked about how it encompasses the finances. That's going to be so very important. Again, like, love, comment, share your thoughts, share your feedback, send me your questions. The only dumb question is a question that's not asked. That's been my philosophy since my mama instilled that in my brain, because she always told me, you better pay attention. If you don't pay attention, you better ask questions, because you can't come home and ask me nothing because I wasn't there with you. Those was her words. And if you knew my mama, you knew that's the truth. So I encourage you to please do so. Lean on Anointed Accounting, and not just for your taxes and your finances, but again, we have this wonderful network that we have built to help you in all areas, because we have created that safe space. We have created a place where you could come and we can talk about your finances and anything else that's bothering you. Anything else. So again, we're at Anointed Accounting, 312-837-7219. I want to thank everyone for taking time out to stop by on today's show. If you missed the beginning of it, don't worry about it. Go back to the page, listen to it, whether it be today, tomorrow, or next week. Just listen to it because it may very well help you. I want to say thank you and I love you all. Let's go into this week booming. Whoop, whoop. I'll see y'all next Saturday, Lord's will. I love y'all. Bye-bye.